Hi, welcome to Driveway Talk. We're on the road again. This time Driveway Talk is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Cameraman is Lee Turtelot. I'm Ron Anderson, your host. And there's a lot of activity going on, cars, helicopters overhead. We're out by the McCarran Airport. We're on our way over to the Imperial Palace, and we're going to get a couple of shows over there. We're going to do the old cars, and hopefully we can get some Duesenbergs in, and so stick with us and come on along. Hi, welcome to Driveway Talk. We're down at the Imperial Palace here in Las Vegas, and who are you, sir?
My name is John Workman. I work for the Auto Collections.
Hi, John. Glad to meet you. I'm Ron Anderson, and Lee Turtelot is our cameraman. And for the people that didn't see the first show, we're here in Las Vegas, and we had to come up and see the car collection, some of the cars you have. How many cars are in your collection?
Probably right now we've got about 130 to 140 out here on the main showroom floor for sale, with a total of about 350 in stock for sale.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Well, later on we're going to get to the silver one down here. Boy, I'd love to have that one. This is the entrance where you come into the Imperial Palace on the 5th floor, and we see the people starting to come in now.
Right. We're getting ready to open here this morning. Actually, we're located on the 5th floor of the parking facility at the rear of the Imperial Palace Hotel and Casino. We're directly located across the street from Caesar's Palace.
Okay.
This was originally the Imperial Palace Auto Collection, world-renowned. Everyone kind of knows about us that's into cars. We have since last year, in April, went under new ownership. Richie Klein and Don Williams are now our new owners, and we've opened under the Auto Collections banner, and everything that you will see on the floor here is for sale now.
Wow.
So you can't just come look, you can take it home with you.
I tell you, people who come to Vegas and don't get up here, they're missing something spectacular.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The Imperial Palace Auto Collection itself was always a real must-see for everyone that had come to Vegas on a regular basis. And now with the advent of our new venue and the sales and the diversity that we've changed within the collections and not just being a museum, it's absolutely, if you miss it, you're truly missing something.
I believe it. Now, what we're standing in front of, John, is a 1931 Duesenberg, right?
Absolutely.
And the price on this says $1,150,000.
Cheap.
It seems
For
like
this particular car?
it is, yeah.
A little cheap.
This is a very rare, beautiful car.
And with its lineage, its historical value, beyond just being the Duesenberg, which stands alone. The word Duesenberg stands alone. The comment, "it's a doozy," was adapted well because the Duesenberg standard was very high, very dependable, very well known. It said everything about the car of the era. It was the finest thing that America had to offer in automobiles at the time. And
where were these cars made?
in Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Right along with Lee's Auburn.
Yeah. In the Auburn Cord Duesenberg.
Oh, so that is right.
Absolutely.
That's part of the
whole family. Yeah. And,
right.
E.L. Cord, of course, coming along and taking Duesenberg and bringing it to what it was. The two Duesenberg brothers, of course, being well at what they did within the automotive, but not being real good at being business. And E.L. Cord stepping in and with his business knowledge as well as his automobile knowledge and taking the company to its zenith, which was, of course, the Model J Duesenberg.
Well, let's walk down the aisle, and Lee can follow us here.
Well, under our new format, you're going to see a lot of different things here on the floor that was part of the original Imperial Palace Auto Collection, which was mostly known for the 40s and back automobiles, the classic era of the automobile, the salon era. Now with the advent of our all-sales venue, we do bring out onto the floor what the market is looking for, which right now, 50s, 60s, and even well into the 70s, the muscle cars, even the luxury cars of the early 70s are real strong on the market right now, and we have everything to offer to those who want to come in and buy those types of cars.
Now we're standing in front of a 67 model. What is this?
This is a Gilda Ghia Custom. It's actually not a complete automobile. It was a mock-up. There's no engine. It doesn't steer, but it was designed for one of the car shows, and it was an advanced, like, prototype automobile that was being toured around the country during the auto shows. And it's just one of those kind of way out things that was occurring at the time in the 60s on aerodynamics and the design of the car, and trying to get the car sleeker and quicker and faster, and the look, even not even in the car itself, but just the look to the car.
We have everything up here. We have Packards and Cadillacs and Chevys and Volkswagens and Studebagers.
The original Volkswagen, which is not actually a Volkswagen, it is actually a Mercedes-Benz, and it is a 170H prototype. So that not yeah, absolutely, and not only just is it a car for Mercedes-Benz, but its historical value as being the prototype to the Volkswagen.
Wow. Now we're in front of a 49 Olds. I like this car. It's got a glass hood. You can see the engine.
Yeah, that was one of the limited factory hoods that was produced for this automobile to show off that Rocket 88 engine underneath. So I don't think necessarily the hood was made for running down the road. I think it was just an option for showing and viewing the engine as it sits.
Right. I agree with you. But I sure like looking at it. It's neat. Coming down here, this has Elvis on it. Any meaning to that license plate?
Formerly owned by Elvis Presley himself.
This is Elvis Presley 75 Lincoln Continental Mark IV.
Always very popular with collectors, especially with museums. Elvis Presley's cars are always big crowd drawers. People always want to see what car he was driving or what he actually owned. And so within the collector world, there are still several of his cars that are out there and available, and this just happens to be one of them, along with his 1976 Cadillac that will be available at our upcoming auction on the 21st and 22nd.
And this car is available for $85,000, and you could be sitting where Elvis Presley sat.
Absolutely.
I see on the door TCB. Now I know what that means. I got to say it.
Right.
Taking care of business.
With the lightning bolt in a flash, his trademark statement.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. If you're an Elvis fan, you know what that means. We have cars to the left and right of us. They're all over the place. It's unbelievable. Look at this beautiful Pontiac.
Just a very nice 50s car. I mean, look at the car. The paint job is superior on it. It's very good looking.
Very rare car.
And something that's affordable. I mean, for $30,000,
$30,000
that you can still take out and enjoy on the street.
Oh, it's gorgeous. We have Chevy convertibles and
we have something for everybody.
Jaguars,
Duesenberg, Rolls-Royce, Lincoln, Renault, Mercedes-Benz, Chevrolet, Ford. If they made them, chances are pretty much we're going to have it on the floor.
Wonderful. Okay, we're coming up here in another Duesenberg, a 1930J.
Murphy Town car.
Now, was this designed so the chauffeur could sit in the front part in the rain, and then the owner was covered?
There was a bonnet that does attach, a soft cover that does attach to the front to keep the chauffeur out of the weather, of course, but there wasn't much emphasis put on the driver's compartment due to the fact that a car like this still would have been built and owned by someone wealthy. Even at the time, this was still a very expensive car. This car would have probably cost you upwards close to $20,000 after you were all done with body and running gear and chassis. So even to today's standard, it would be a little bit expensive. But at the time, Duesenberg was for the elite, the well-to-do. I mean, you were somebody if you owned a Duesenberg.
That's right, I agree. And this can be had for $1,100,000. Here comes one. Coming up here is one I like, this silver one. What is this?
This is a four-door Beverly sedan. Of course, Model J Duesenberg.
And looking at the rest of them, I would think this one is really on the low end, $900,000. But this car jumps out at me. I love this car.
The paint job, spectacular on it. The detailing and the polishing of the metalwork, the entire car, the restoration is just exemplary. And for $900,000 for a Duesenberg of this quality, a buy. Definitely a buy.
It is. I agree. Well, we'll move on down the line here.
We have a Bentley here, which most people, don't think too much about Bentley in the early days. But in front of this is a 1934 Bentley Corsica.
Now look at the rims on this car. What is that? A cover over
Yeah,
the?
that's actually a wheel cap, or
A wheel
it's
cap
yeah, it's what
over
they
the
would call a
wood
cap.
spokes.
I don't know if that's wood spokes or not
Wire
behind
spokes.
there. They're probably wire spokes.
Gorgeous. Jeez, look at that long hood on there.
Of course, the straight 8-cylinder engine. Everybody thinks of the V8, but they still had 8-cylinder engines in the early days. But it was a straight 8, which made for a very massive and long front end of the car.
Nice looking Cadillac. And what is this black car here?
Actually, that is a Russian automobile. It's a Shashanka. I think I pronounced it right. My Russian's a little sloppy. This was given to Yuri Gagarin, the astronaut, by Khrushchev, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is something.
So we have something from all over the world here, so you can
Sure
actually
do.
come by, and not only, again, here we have a not only just a Russian car, but a piece of Russian history. So for the historian, this car is, a piece that they can buy
Beautiful.
and enjoy.
And the price on this is $150,000.
With its historical value
Oh.
and the car itself, it can command that type of money.
Oh, sure. And I agree. It is a gorgeous car, and it's a Finn car.
Kind of looks like a Chrysler a little bit.
It does.
I think
Yeah,
they think they might have stole a little styling from Chrysler.
Yeah, I think so. We have a 32 Packard here, beautiful car. We have a Chevy over on the other side here. What is this? This is an AMC product here, isn't it?
A Rebel. One of the things that were being done with the cars in the late 60s, early 70s to make them look more sporty, faster for the crowd that was buying the car at the time, along with the Mustangs and the Corvettes and things of that era. Everybody was trying to compete for the younger market, so they had to do different things in order to keep the cars competitive.
And this is a factory paint, blue, cream, red. Wow, gorgeous. And that can be had for $18,500. That seems like a good buy.
Of car of this era and what's occurring right now on the market.
Sure.
The big sale is, like I said, was on the 50s and the 60s cars. The young men who have made their money in the computers and things now are remembering these cars. They're either their father or their older brother driving them around, or them getting it when their first car.
Right.
And now that they have the money to go out and buy these cars, they're seeking these cars out. They're not whims. They're seeking these cars out because it's a part of their history, a part of their memories, and they're able to go out and actually buy back a piece of their memory and keep it with them and enjoy it.
That's right.
And I think that's something else that we offer here. We're not just selling cars. I mean, it's a part of everybody's life.
Sure. I think we're going to play a little music for the folks and scan around, and you can maybe take a walk with Lee here, and we'll get back to you in a little bit. How's that?
Great. Hope we enjoy it.
John, here we are in front of this beautiful Mercury. What year is this?
This is a 55 Mercury Montclair. Probably the finest example in the world. This car was over-restored. And if anybody in the car business knows what the word over-restored means, is that there it goes back to the love of the automobile, and it's got nothing to do with the money anymore at that point. It's the love of the car, the work that you do, the quality, the pride in the workmanship. So it's not a money issue at that point anymore.
Right. And this is a very rare car. You see a few of them around, but try and go out and buy
yeah,
them.
and not to this extent. I mean, you're not going to see a car to that extent anywhere in the world except for here on our floor.
I agree with you.
And that's something we're trying to offer that here in the collections, not only under some of the finest examples of the cars that are available today, but we want the customers to be comfortable. We want you to come in, you get to sit down behind the wheel of the car, you get to climb underneath the car. Car people, we're all like, we want to get underneath the car, we want to pop the hood, we want to kick the tires, we want to ask questions, and we afford that comfortable zone here, which most places don't. Under the format of the auction, in years past, even though that we're trying to get away from it a little bit and make it available to everyone, it's always been a car person's thing. At an auction, the hammer goes down and you buy a car. You better know what you're doing.
That's right.
Here, you can come in and you can be, I've had tourists just come in off the streets. They come to Las Vegas because it's Las Vegas. They found us. They came up here. They saw a car. They fell in love, and they took that car home with them. I sold a Corvette that way.
Wow.
And the guy just, and it was that comfortable zone that people feel that they're not just being sold something.
Right. And when you get a car in, your mechanics look it over, and you wouldn't put anything out that
We're not here to sell somebody a car that's wrapped up in a piece of paper that we're trying to push down the road. If we did that, our reputation would go away, and we wouldn't be able to sell a car nowhere in the world.
That's right.
And we can't do that.
You want to say what you get for this Mercury?
I think currently the car's up at about $85,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Boy, it looks better than showroom.
Oh, absolutely absolutely going to be better than showroom because it's been done nut and bolt.
Right. Well, let's move down the line here. And if somebody wants to get in contact with you, what number do they call?
They can call us directly here at the Auto Collections. The number is 702-794-3174. We do have our website, and it's probably one of the best websites for automotive people in the world right now.
Sure.
With over 350 photographs of each and every car that we have on sale, and as well as information regarding the car, and that is www.autocollections.com.
And then they'll punch that out and see all your cars.
Absolutely. It'll come up with our home, the page there, and it'll be the opening page, and it'll give you a history of how we started the Auto Collections under the new venue here and what we're trying to accomplish. And then there's a listing of over 350 automobiles that we currently offer for sale, and photographs as well.
Sure. Okay, well, let's take a little walk here.
Yeah. I was saying to Les, this car here, I mean, this is a car you would have drove by 5 years ago, 6 years ago on the road.
The Oldsmobile here.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have thought anything about it.
Sure.
You wouldn't have thought that maybe that's a collector's piece or a hobbyist car,
That's right.
but now look at that car. It's a beautiful example of the car, probably one of the finest examples in existence of that particular car. And now it's a real collector piece. And 5 or 6 years ago, it wouldn't have been. So the market is really changing. And the floor here in the Auto Collections reflects that, the cars that are for sale.
Now, here we have a race car, and somebody, if they want to own a race car, they could buy this for $50,000.
Museums and collectors. For race cars of this type, race cars are very, very collectible pieces. They're almost like collecting toy cars, as that most of them don't ever run again, and if they do, they're just taken out to exercise a little bit here and there. But for the most part, our museum and collectors pieces, and they're really strong in the market. They do command a good price.
And over here we have something from the Denver Fire Department. It's a fire chief.
A little old
car.
Ford pickup truck, Ford Model A pickup truck that was done up by the previous owner.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah, they're great. They're fun. The Fords are fun. The little Fords are always fun.
And here's, what is this here?
This is a Delahaye.
A Delahaye, and we ran across one of those before.
When we were in the Grand Salons, correct. So here in the Auto Collections, even a Delahaye kind of becomes a little bit almost common.
Right, 1948. Now, how many years did they make that?
Actually, I'm not particularly sure. That was closing out the Delahaye run, probably just into the 50s.
Oh.
Probably about maybe 50, 51.
And that one's priced at $175. Now that doesn't seem bad at all for that car.
Not for that particular piece, no. That's one thing that we have heard a lot response from our customers who are coming in. They're seeing the prices on these. It's to the market. It's to whatever the particular car is, and if there is someone out there who's seeking that car, whether or not it'll command that price. And it's, you know, the muscle cars right now, the late 60s and the early 70s muscle cars are really going beyond what they were ever expected to go as far as price-wise go. It's because people want them now.
Sure.
They're really after these cars.
Oh, gorgeous. Well, let's take a walk down here. What is this one to our right?
This is a Delage, or are we at another Delahaye? We're at another Delahaye.
And that's a 1950.
Right, so we're getting close to the end of their run here.
I've never seen one in person, and today I've seen three of them.
And you've seen three. So that's, like I said, even in the auto collections, the Delahaye almost becomes common. So we have everything that there is to offer in the collector market.
And for another $175,000, you can own another car like this.
And here at the auto collections, I think that someone who's looking to put together a whole entire collection could come in here and potentially start their collection very strong and very solid at a very reasonable issue.
Well, if they bought all three Delahayes, they'd have a wonderful collection. Okay, we have a little Volkswagen here, a 59 Beetle.
Probably just a real nice example of the car, real great restoration, and here we go again, more into the restoration than the car's probably actually worth. Sure. The love of the car, the gentleman who actually owns this car is consigned to the floor, just loves the Volkswagens. And here we are. It's been done over probably better than when it rolled off the assembly line.
It looks brand new.
And it's just a really neat piece, really fun. The Volkswagens are always lots of fun.
We have a nice truck behind us. My eyes are going to this car here. This is wonderful.
One of the several celebrity cars that we have offered for sale here in the auto collections. This was formerly owned by Liberace, Mr. Las Vegas himself.
Wow.
So, Mr. Showmanship. And this was a piece that he did occasionally drive around Las Vegas and has been seen here locally on the streets when he was alive and in town. So, and here again, at $100,000, you're not just necessarily buying a car, but you're buying a little piece of history.
You are.